perpetrators behind the June 22nd attacks. Now, the capital of Union of North America is Denver. All right, now, for those of you who are familiar with Denver, you remember the Denver airport, right? And you remember all the markings and all that good stuff, right? Well, missiles are shot at Iran, Syria, and China, and protesters are put into camps in the UNA. Sound familiar? That would be analogous to the FEMA camps. Now, in part 4, there's a new currency, a new government, and a new flag in the UNA, Union of North America. Now, the war is quick, and unelected, a new president issues a new constitution and declares martial law. Well, first of all, if you think about it, you don't have to worry about them putting in a new unelected president, because technically speaking, some people will make the argument that our current president is not a natural-born citizen, okay? And he does have the power right now to declare a martial law anytime he feels like it, okay? Then it says 1 year earlier, so the false flag could not have been last year, as many people thought, okay? Now, it talks about how the U.S. was too busy fighting wars and getting into debt, and in the meantime, the enemies grew stronger. Now, you could think about North Korea, because that's what that would sound like to me. Now, it also shows Obama failing and the social and economic disaster growing, okay? And it also alludes to defeat in those wars that we're fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq. It also talks about how they are ready for phase 2, and the news about where 5 nuclear warheads went missing. Then, the exact news reference to 5 nuclear warheads going missing again, you can find that on the Telegraph website. And then there's also Brigade Homeland Tour starting October the 1st. And then there's some more slides and things that go into that. Anyway, in part 5, it says they have an emergency broadcast saying that there's at least 6 other terror cells operating in North America, and that 2 in the British Isles, and that the terrorists could have more nukes. Now, in order to prevent mass loss of life under the terms of the Emergency Contingencies Act 2011, the government is instituting the following measures. And then it talks about UNA biometric identification cards are required, and if you refuse, you face unlimited jail terms. Well, we've had talk in the recent past about being able to lock people up indefinitely for any reason. All they do is say they were terrorists, and you can be locked up forever. It doesn't matter. Also, we've seen a lot of regular advertisements on regular TV now about biometric ID cards, and even the microchipping. Another thing, the mandatory one-time vaccination against a range of biological and chemical agents. And if you refuse, it's unlimited prison term for that too. Regulatory authorities will monitor and prevent unpatriotic abuse of digital communications. That would include the internet, and that would also be regulated. In addition to that, all journalists will have to report what they are going to publish or face prison terms. Just want to stop right there. There was a broadcast today that I saw, I believe it was on the Associated Press, talking about how the Obama administration wants to start regulating journalism. And they're doing it under the umbrella, under the guise of trying to revive the print media, since people aren't buying newspapers and stuff anymore. Now, after these rules have been put into place, it shows riots pursuing and the military clashing with the people. Well, we know, I just listened to a few broadcasts with some people here on YouTube talking about how they're getting ready and investing, billions of dollars in security for all types of events, and including games and Olympics and just whatever. So especially when it comes to the IMF meetings and World Bank meetings and things like that. I mean, if we were in a recovery and everything was fine, then people wouldn't be rioting, right? So something's not right there. Now, in order not to lose the whole country, they have to go into phase 3. Now, phase 3 is to nuke Boston. Okay. Now that's a big one. Okay. Then it says, however, there's a leak in the teardrop group. So the Boston Globe publishes the biggest lie in the history of the world about how the nuke found in Boston was made in the UNA. They published the news on Tuesday, June 21st, 2011. So this would mean a year later after the false flag, which would put us now into this year. Then Part 5 ends. So this means that Operation Blackjack will take place on June 21st or 22nd of this year, not last year like they thought. Again, this could all be a farce and nothing could happen. But again, June 1st, 2010, to those that think that Operation Blackjack was just a comic series, okay, published by the London Telegraph last year, or that it was just a sick joke, it may come as a shock to learn that an earlier warning has been discovered and decoded. Now, those that believe that the Illuminati published their plans in encrypted ways because it is necessary by their quote-unquote order to involve us in the blood sacrifice, perhaps by exposing their own evil plans, they will choose not to execute them, right? That's what we would think. But buried in the mysterious hexadecimal codes throughout the Operation Blackjack series were several hidden messages. One of those messages indicated that the comic slideshow was our final warning. So it stands to reason, if Operation Blackjack was the final warning, that there must have been another earlier warning that was missed. Now what follows is a very scary discovery and analysis of an odd terrorist article published in the capital city and I believe it was in South Africa, and that predates this, and it's called Operation Blackjack Spoof. And it started when a researcher found a strange article titled "Major Terrorists Head to Court." And this terror article was broken down into sections and decoded, and the executive summary of the initial final code message was: Section A, the nuclear winds are on the agenda for 6/23/10. Section B, SOS, the nuclear bombs will be hidden in the rooftop heating and cooling systems. Section 3, 9 Al-Qaeda patsies will be blamed for the attacks against the Westerners. Section D, the radical patsies planned the attack for 4 years and came from 3 different nations. And Section E, this is an emergency action message signed by a hidden Illuminati marker. Section F, in 2010, mass repentance or faith resurgence is an outcome of this spiritual dialogue. Now, the actual decoding is very complex and may be poised or posted in its entirety in a separate post on the internet. However, the following items were decoded and found contained within the terror article. The number 33, Illuminati marker of authenticity. And the article claims that the terrorists shot tourists on December the 24th in 2007. Then the article is decoded to warn of dangerous winds, 912